Welcome back, besties. What does the nanny do is a big question. With the long list of rules that Cody laid out, my first thought was, is this nanny following these rules? Does the nanny live alone? If not, does all of the family of the nanny follow the rules? From cleaning the mail with alcohol wipes, wearing masks in public, sanitizing hands, disinfecting groceries, no movies, theaters, bars, fitness centers, restaurants, gotta stay 10 feet apart, all these things that Cody calls little chores, and Janelle calls them, lovingly, the 10 billion commandments of Cody. Let's keep this on the DL because if Cody hears us talking about the nanny, he will surely demand we take it back. Take it back! Cody says they have an employee they call Nanny who helps with the children and their schooling. So, is their employee's name Nanny? Now let's clarify this. Robyn and Cody have a total of 5 children. 21-year-old Dayton, 19-year-old Aurora, 16-year-old Brianna, 10-year-old Solomon, and 5-year-old Ariella. Now, I don't know about you, but I had 2 babies 4 years apart and never had a nanny or even an employee. Yes, it's true. It's because your mama here was on welfare and I couldn't afford it, but that's besides the point. Oh yeah, and I was a single mom, so no second adult to help. Looks like their household has 5 adults to help with Solomon and Ariella, who are 10 and 5. So I have many questions, from what does the nanny do? Heck, what does Robyn do? And what about these Rona Protocols that Cody has set forth? So let's start with the Rona Protocols. Now I'm trying to be somewhat understanding, being that hindsight we all know is 2020, and wasn't 2020 the year? Oh my. I remember celebrating the new year and thinking what a great year this was going to be. Oh my, was I wrong. So giving them some grace and knowing that maybe they were very afraid at the time. Thinking back, I do remember not leaving my home for 3 months, and I did order groceries, and yes, Clorox wiping those things. Every item, Clorox did all down. Yes, Clorox needs to sponsor this video. Just saying. I was feeling Cody's pain when I was listening to his list and he talked about disinfecting these grocery items. I never did sanitize my mail, mostly because it was junk and it was tossed in the trash. And then what I would do is after I opened my mail, I would just wash my hands. So I'm not sure that the alcohol wipes on the mail would be a good thing. Wouldn't it ruin my mail? I'm not sure. Would it ruin the mail? I also did not go to any public places, including the gyms or the theaters. And I recall going to the grocery store probably like 3 months in to this Rona visitor who has now way overstayed her welcome, and walking around stunned, looking at all the empty shelves. I was so used to getting the items on my list in the brand that I wanted. The shelves were bare. No chicken of the sea tuna, no Jif peanut butter, or any peanut butter for that matter, no bags of rice. I actually remember standing in the aisle and just crying, ugly cry, just crying. I couldn't stop crying. And looking back, the funny thing is, no one stopped to see if I was okay. People just hurried past. They stayed far away, probably due to their own fears of Rona. At that moment, I had to pull myself together and I began to grab anything that was shelf stable that I thought I could eat in a pinch. So for Cody's list, I completely understand where he was coming from and not sure that he was completely out of line for that time. So many things we did not know at the time. Hindsight we know is 2020, and hopefully Cody sees that he went a little overboard with the 10 feet social distancing and some of those things on his list. I do continue to wonder, does Rona know the difference between 5 feet 11 inches and 6 feet? Do you wonder the same thing? Am I alone in my questioning? If Rona knows the difference between 5 feet 11 inches and 6 feet without a ruler, she is one smart cookie. So on to the employee. I was able to confirm that this employee's name is not Nanny. It actually is Mindy. close to nanny, but not nanny. Mindy is actually Robyn's niece or half-niece, Mindy Jessup. Mindy's mother and Robyn are half-sisters, so they have the same father, different mothers. So Mindy comes from a plural family also. Previously, Mindy was featured on the show as she lived with Robyn and Cody for a bit. But how did they reconcile all the protocols with the nanny? Did the nanny agree to follow Cody's commandments? Apparently, she was coming over and helping Robyn with the younger children with their schooling. I can see how that would be beneficial. I have heard many horror stories of those with small children doing schooling from home. Make sure they are logged in to their Zoom class, not getting distracted as it's so easy to do. I know for me, working from home, my bed and my cozy blanket was often calling me on those cold winter mornings. I can only imagine how difficult it is for smaller children, or shoot, even the older children, not to be distracted with the TV, video games, or even the kitchen for a snack. So having the additional help would be beneficial. But it seems if Cody was so afraid of Rona that he wouldn't even allow the other sister wives or their kids to come visit. How was it okay for Mindy, aka Nanny, to come in daily to help with the younger kids, when Isabel, who is Cody and Christine's daughter, could not even come over and see her siblings? None of this actually makes sense. This leads me to believe that Cody's commandments was more about control than anything else. Rona gave Cody the perfect excuse for his controlling ways. Rona brought to light many issues that Robyn has since confirmed were being shoved under the rug. So the big question for me remains, what does Robyn do? We know she is the only wife who does not work. With the nanny means she also does not have the responsibility of taking care of her children. This allows her full-time to work on attending to all of Cody's controlling demands. I don't know about you, but I think she has gotten the shortest end of the stick. I would much rather work outside of the home than to have to deal with his ever-changing, controlling ways and whims. No, thank you. There is not enough money in it for me. How about you? What price would you demand to work full-time attending to all of Cody's controlling demands and whims? Until next time, besties, keep sipping that tea and enjoy one of these videos.